Hi there, it's Sarah with Our Daily Craft, and the other day I showed you how to do the knit cast on, which I will link in the comments. But I mentioned in that video that there's a similar cast on that some people prefer that is called the cable cast on. And so I wanted to show you that today and show you the difference between the two. So I made these two little swatches. They were both worked on size 6 needles. They are both made with Knit Picks wool of the Andes worsted. This top one has the knit cast on and the bottom one has the cable cast on. And I tried to work, normally with the same kind of tension on both of them, but you can see how the knit cast on one is looser. The cable cast on is not as stretchy, but they look similar. I'll try to show you. So you can see here, this part is the cast on, these little V's, and you see that it's got a little, like they don't look like the V's of knitting. They look like almost like a crossed, like a twisted stitch. And if you look at the cable cast on, let's see if I can get them kind of lined up together. They look similar, but you can see how the cable cast on is tighter. And when you look at them together, it's not as stretchy. And so I would normally not say that the type of cast on you use affects your gauge, but if you look at these, it does look like the stitches are even tighter, starting from that base of a cable cast on instead of a knit cast on, which is interesting to me. But anyway, so there might be occasions on which you would prefer to have a less stretchy cast on, and in that case you might want to give the cable cast on a try. So it starts exactly the same way as your knit cast on. So you'll start with a slip knot again. So like I said, I like to do that. I make an E with the yarn and then pull the yarn ball end through that loop and pull it a little bit and then stick it on the needle. This yarn is, I believe, a Spud and Chloe, and I've got a size 6 needle again. These are Clover. And again, you're going to want your slip knot to be like so that it can move a little bit on the needle. It's not super tight, it's not super loose. And then you do your first stitch just like you would do a knit cast on. So you go into that loop from front to back, you wrap your yarn around that back needle, you pull it under and up, take the loop and pull it up so that you can put it back on the left hand needle, and then you can snug that up a little bit as you need to. Now, instead of going into the stitch to make the next one, for cable cast on, you go between the stitches. So you're acting like it's a knit stitch, but instead of going into the loop itself, you're going in between these two loops. And then you wrap around and pull forward and up and over, just the same as you would with the knit cast on. The only difference is that you're going in between the stitches instead of through the last stitch that you made. And you can see on the needle there that makes them kind of, your loop is coming from between, so that changes the look of the cast on a little bit. Whereas with the knit cast on, they're not overlapping like that. And so that may be what makes it a little tighter. We're going to go between the stitches again, pull through the loop and up and over, and you would just continue in that manner for as many stitches as you need. And I'll show you that again, how it looks on the finished, on the little swatch. You can see how the stitches kind of overlap there, and it makes a nice tight chain compared to this one that's a little looser. They're really pretty similar in look, it's just that it makes it a little tighter and more chain-like. If you look at it from the front, the look of it is a little nicer but that may be just because it's a little tighter too. So it's really up to you, you know, that either one of these cast-ons is a great beginner cast-on, and it's good to use throughout your knitting career when you need to just cast on a few stitches. You know, they're not incredibly fast cast-on methods, so if you know, prefer long tail or something that you can do a little faster, that's fine, but these are good, solid, capable cast-ons that are good to have in your repertoire as a beginner and beyond.